So I'm going to record this. We're going to do social media training tonight. Let me share my screen here. Right, share screen, and I'm going to share this. All right, can you see that?
Yep.
All right, cool. So we'll just go through this. When it comes to social media, and we'll talk a little bit about a fitness page versus working your personal page, and the pros and cons to both, so that as you're thinking about how you want to build your business, you can determine which feels like it's the right thing for you at this time. As your business grows and as you work through your warm market, which is primarily your friends and family, you're going to most likely decide that you're going to need an alternate way to start building a bigger market in a cold market, for that matter. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. But the biggest thing when it comes to social media is really just being yourself. And it can be really hard because we see other coaches that are doing things, and you see a coach that's building their business and you're like, well, what are they doing? And maybe I should do what they're doing. And it's really easy to get caught up in kind of that self-competition with another coach. And, that is okay. Like, it's great to watch other coaches and see what they're doing and maybe get a feel for the kind of market that they're going after, especially if it's somebody that you connect with or is your upline coach. And, try to figure out what the niche is. Now, my niche is not going to be your niche, is not going to be the next person's. There will be a lot of similarities, like we're all moms, or we have full-time jobs and we're working our business, or we love to cook, or you're really spiritual, or whatever. Like, there's going to be a lot of familiarity and crossover. But in the end, as a coach, people are going to want to work with you, want to join your team because of who you are. And I will be the first to admit, I had some struggles with this last year in the second year of, I guess it was, it's been 2 years for me now. And it's, one of those things where you get a lot of good momentum and then you hit a little lull, and that's how this business works. It ebbs and flows. But, it was hard for me to not get down on myself. And I think that a lot of us are like that, right? We just, especially if we're doing well, it's hard to fail a little bit and it's hard to stumble. And so what typically feels like the right thing to do is to go and check out other coaches and see what they're doing and try to emulate what they're doing. And in the end, that's what works for them. It's not really what's going to work for you. So I really encourage you guys to just stay true to yourselves and learn from my mistakes, and, put yourself out there in the sense of, what makes you you? What are your hobbies? What are the things that really drive your passion outside of wanting to help other people with their health and fitness? And, really start to get comfortable with sharing your why. And you have a super powerful why. It is something that I know is easier to share in a private group or with your coach one-on-one. And it can be really scary to think about sharing your why when it's something really deep and really personal. But again, that is the element that is going to set you apart from other coaches, because you're going to have something so emotional, so genuine and authentic to you that is going to totally connect with somebody else, many other women for that matter, on a really personal and emotional level. That's going to make them say, okay, we have that in common. She's really striving forward despite what has happened to her in the past, and clearly she's making her health and fitness, herself, a priority. I want to figure out how to do that too. I want to work with her. But you can't start to build that kind of relationship and make that kind of connection until you figure out a way to be comfortable with sharing your why. And it doesn't have to be everything all at once. And we'll kind of talk about piecing it out here in a second. But you have to start to seed that a little bit and be consistent in sharing. And I can be totally honest, like I feel like I was really good about sharing that in the beginning. And I just kind of, and my piece of my why is really beating my depression and getting out of a suicidal funk. Like that's pretty deep stuff to be sharing with people. And to this day, like I haven't shared real broadly just how deep and dark my depression was, because I think a lot of people can get the gist that depression sucks and it's really shitty for everybody. But what I want to share out of my journey is that because I found this great workout, I found a way to clear my head, to feel great about myself again, to get out of that, terrible funk. And life has been better because of it. I want other people who've maybe experienced that to feel better too. So just think about little things like that and how you can start to share your why. And, this piece about thinking about questions you had before starting is, why did you, what would have kept you from becoming a coach? And what were those questions and hesitations? It's likely that a lot of other people that you know who you think would be great coaches or you've worked with in your groups have the same questions or same reservations. So just put it out there and say, yeah, I was really skeptical, or yeah, I thought this was a total pyramid scheme. There was no way I was going to, join that. And then talk about how, I talked to my coach, I got educated, here's what it really is. And you start to share those pieces and people are like, okay, this is really legit and a great opportunity. When it comes to social media and how you want to go to market, so to speak, being consistent is going to be the name of the game. I would really recommend, as new coaches, pick one social media platform and get good at it. Don't try to do Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Vivo, like every other little thing that's out there. You might want to just start with Facebook. Okay, we know it is the biggest by far platform to be able to reach people. It has billions of people on it. Instagram really, really has taken off. Another really, strong platform. Lots of people are using Snapchat. Lots of people are using Periscope to do videos. Videos are very strong, even on the Facebook side. Facebook Live is now playing a very big role, coming off of how big Periscope has been in the last year. And so those are all really great tools to be able to use to engage with people, and engagement, that we'll talk about that in a minute. I mean, that is the name of the game for being able to drive the interaction and the views on your page. So for me, I think 3 times a day is a really great place to start. As you have time, or if you have time and you can get it up to about 5, then that's great. Just, again, be really consistent. I put that 9-12-9 there because I think I've shared with you in the past that, 9 o'clock is a good time after people get to work, after kids get dropped off at school. People are having a little bit of downtime to be able to maybe check in on social media. Noon, again, pretty self-explanatory, kind of that lunch time frame, a little bit of downtime during the day, and then 9 o'clock at night, maybe even a little later, slightly earlier, whatever works for you. Don't ever feel like, oh my gosh, it's 9:02 and I haven't posted anything. That's part of being you, and part of being real and authentic in your posting is that you do it when you have time. If you run a fitness page or a business community type page, you can schedule posts as well. We still see that they get a little bit lower engagement from Facebook, but it is still a really great way to keep up the consistency on your page. If you know you're going to be out of town, you know you got stuff going on for the day, you can preload stuff the night before, and it's a really nice feature for a fitness page. The 90-10 rule, 80-20 max rule, really means that 90% of the time you are posting value-added content. 10% of the time you're posting something that is Beachbody related. So, that's not a lot over the course of the week if you're posting 3 times a day that you're even talking about something that might be Beachbody related. And that is posting for a challenge group, posting about a coach op, workout, whatever that might be. But you really want to find other ways to add value to people and drive them back to your page. So it's recipes and it's tips and it's, a workout video, maybe if that's your thing, and give them other things besides feeling like, oh, okay, they're just really trying to sell me products. They're not really trying to help me, move forward in my journey. That's the added value piece there. Okay, as much as we love them or hate them, selfies are here to stay, it would appear. So we can do a whole little side training on some of the ways that you can utilize a selfie to drive engagement on your page and kind of get creative with that. Obviously, selfies with kids do pretty well and animals. So, that's definitely something to consider. The share, don't sell element, I think, is pretty self-explanatory. Nobody wants to be sold to. Everybody wants to hear you share about your journey, see you struggle, see you succeed. That's going to make them feel better about the journey that they're on too. So this is a piece where you can be sharing about your why, sharing about little pieces of your journey. And again, like I mentioned earlier, it doesn't have to be a big spewed, huge post that people get, lost in or stop reading halfway through. That's why little snippets are good. You give them a little bit and they're like, okay, I really, would like to hear more about her story. So then another, week later, you post a little bit something else. And you just kind of keep that element and that dialogue going on your page. Branding yourself and, a brand training is something completely separate that we can go through, but, be consistent. And this just goes back to being you. Figure out who you are, what niche you're going after. If it's working moms, if it's moms of boys, who knows what will really connect. But once you find it, stick with it and be consistent, because it's going to help you drive a much stronger business and network. The writing meaningful content versus designing creative, it's really easy because it's fun to play in a lot of photo apps and different things where you're like, oh, I want to do something really cool with this great quote that I found. And those are great things and you want to have some of that. But think about if it's adding value. Always go back to that mindset of, if I post this, is it going to enhance somebody else's day? And it really might. If it's a really strong quote and it really connects with you, chances are it'll really connect with somebody else. But there's already a ton of graphics out there with great quotes on them that you don't have to go and recreate the wheel. We'll talk about the difference between like your own post versus sharing a post and how that can affect your engagement. But just think about that, and don't ever stop with peppering in your challenge groups and coaching ops. Definitely make that part of your 90-10 plan. What doesn't work is things like stock photos. Obviously, we know that Beachbody provides a ton of advertising to us. Not only what we can get in our Coach Online office for graphics, but obviously what they post all over various Facebook pages that they run. Almost every single one of the celebrity trainers has a great social media following, of course, and they post a lot of pictures and stuff. Just be mindful that if you're going to use one of their images, make sure that it's something that, again, has a strong quote on it, has a great tip on it. I like some of the 21-day fix ones that Autumn has out that has, it's like a little photo collage, but it has, I don't know, usually like 6 different moves on it. And so you can kind of tote that as like your no weight Wednesday workout, do 3 sets of 10 of each of these exercises, something like that. And you can utilize one of those types of images, but don't get in the habit of just saving images from other pages just to post them on yours. You want to be a little bit more creative than that. Staged product shots. This is, and I'll show you one from my page if we have time here in a minute, but I have totally done this. Of course, everybody who coaches has done this. We set up our nice little bag of Shakeology next to the shaker cup, maybe a boost or a performance product or something, and say, oh, I just made this great smoothie. Well, yeah, of course you did. Like what really does better engagement wise is when we show ourselves. It goes back to that selfie thing. As much as you love it or hate it, drinking it, being proof of the product is part of that element in our vital behavior of showing how you are drinking it. Or maybe you made a shake for one of your kids and you post that they're drinking, 70 superfoods for the day before they head out to, play with the neighbors or whatever. So just think about that. We've all done it. We will all do it again at some point because it's quick and it's easy, but it's not always going to give you the best engagement. You don't want to sell. And this can be tough, especially in the beginning, because a challenge pack goes on sale that we really love and you just want to promote like, hey, come get the, Insanity Max 30 for $140, whatever. Okay. Well, us and 500,000 other coaches, if we all did the same thing, people would be like, oh my God, this is like, all these people do is sell us products. That all happens privately, that element of sharing. You can totally go about it and be like, there's some great promos this month. I'm so excited to get my next challenge group up and running to try out Max 30 myself or something. Like spin it around in that regard to put a little product info out there, but not make it so blatantly about just wanting to sell, last chance to join, limited space to join, like those kind of desperation, posts. Everybody has seen them and tried them, and you might get like one more person to join your challenge group, but it's probably a person that you were already instant messaging and had a dialogue going with anyways, and you didn't have to go that far on a post. Hopefully that makes sense. Don't post a link to your website. It never goes anywhere. I think the Facebook just pretty much blocks all of those things. Facebook does not like YouTube either. They do not play nice together because Facebook was not able to buy YouTube. So be really mindful of that. If you're going to post a video from YouTube, give it one of those, hey, check the comments for today's video type of thing. Don't just post it in your status update because you will get 0 engagement on it. Don't mass invite. I've done this. I got lazy one day and I was just like, I just want to run a mom's group. I'm going to just message all these moms that I know and, I'll see if anybody wants to join a group. Oh, God, like the minute I sent it, I was just like, what the hell was I thinking? Okay, so just learn from me. Do not mass email. If it's like 3 of your closest friends and you've been talking to them all anyways and you just want to say, hey, remember that group I shared with you guys about at brunch last week? I'm going to start it on Monday. Okay, that's different than blasting 25 or 50 of your friends just to try to do a quick invite because people will probably unfollow you faster than they'll ever engage with you in your posting. And then sharing from other pages, all that does is help their engagement. It doesn't help yours. And I mean this in regards to mostly sharing from other coaches' websites. Every once in a while, you'll find like a really awesome inspirational video or something really cool that you'll want to share. And as long as it's not a YouTube and it's one of the Facebook type videos, and you can pretty much tell the difference, especially if it's something that's gotten pretty high engagement. then you could share something like that, and you'll get pretty good engagement. I'll see if I can pull one up that I've shared on my page that can kind of show you the difference. All right, getting down to personal versus business page. Again, your personal page is the page you run every day. That is just your life. It is going to help you engage with your warm market. As you get to the point where you're ready for a business page, fitness page, whatever you want to call it, just be ready to commit to it, because you've got to be able to keep up with the content on there. You want to be responsive to people when they comment on your page. You want to comment back. That helps drive engagement and get your post into more news feeds. Really, with Facebook, how quickly people engage with your post is what helps drive the engagement the most right now. So if you post a sweaty selfie and talk about how you got your butt kicked on your 21-day fix dirty 30 workout, and people are like, oh my gosh, she really did, that's, if that starts happening right away, they're going to push that into more news feeds. If you post a picture of your water bottle just sitting on your counter and nobody likes your picture, it'll drop off the news feed within a minute. So just think about little things like that. The naming element of it is a topic. It's something you really need to consider. For myself, for a lot of us, we wanted something separate from our personal names. And for me, I love it. I like having that more business type feel to my page. But when it comes to securing a website, you have to think about the fact that it could be tricky to be able to buy the website domain that you want. So you have to get real creative, and you might have to modify or tweak the wording just a little bit to get what you want. But probably 90% of the time, you're going to still be able to buy a website domain with your name. So if I would have just gone with Tiffany Baird Fitness, I would have probably been able to buy that domain without too much difficulty. Going after Fit Active Life, that was not the first name on my branding list, but I was able to secure it and roll with it. And I still, really love the name of my business. So that's definitely something that you want to think about before you ever start your fitness page. You can change the name of your fitness page, but you don't want to confuse your market either by doing that. So do your best to find something that really works for you, and then own it and go for it. Be prepared to spend some money if you're going to run a business page. You will get a lot of organic growth in the beginning, and you will have a lot of crossover, because for the first few months that you own your business page, you're going to mostly be inviting your friends and family. I invite a lot of people to your pages to try to help drive the likes to your page. But in order to grow your cold market, you are going to have to advertise your page. So that might mean a budget of $50 a month. It might mean a budget of $300 a month. I mean, it's going to have to be totally up to you and what you feel like you can afford to do to grow your business. And you don't have to by any means, but at some point you'll kind of tap out. And the whole goal here is to reach people outside of your warm market. So just a little something to keep in mind. It worked really well for me, and I haven't been doing any major advertising for the better part of this last year, and I'm reconsidering a small ad run here for the first part of the summer, just to drive up engagement, as a lot more people are getting back into health and fitness. And that's something that you can totally do. You can build a strategy around kind of the seasons of our business as well. So we can always work on that more when you're ready to advertise your page. The whole Facebook doesn't play nice piece. It truly is just that. I mean, they know that there are a lot of network marketing businesses right now, and 90% of us, 85% of us are using Facebook as our primary source for reaching people. And they know that. And they have people that monitor. They've got all kinds of rules now, especially with ads, where you can't show a lot of skin. If you try to advertise your before and after photo and how much weight you lost, a lot of the times it won't get approved because they'll send you back a note that says, your claims are not realistic or something to that effect. And it's you. And you're like, I know I just lost 25 pounds. Like, how can you tell me that it's not, realistic? Or what was the one? Something to the effect of, however I had positioned the wording in my text, it could be, offensive to people or something like that. And I'm like, I'm just trying to help people. Like, I'm not trying to offend anybody. So it totally depends on who's viewing ads and if they get approved or not. So boosting posts works the same way. And we could talk about the difference between that. But it is an amazing way to reach more people and grow your business. So definitely something to keep in mind. Just think of this, you can kind of read through these, but you want to be adding value. You want to be using social media as a way to reconnect with people, especially if you're, all of a sudden back in touch with people that you haven't seen since you were in high school or college. You want to be able to rebuild a relationship with them. And Facebook, Instagram, they are great ways to allow you to be able to do that. Really try to keep all of your sales type of conversations private. If you do post about a challenge group or coaching op group, this is where you just reach out individually to people who have liked your post or have commented on your post, versus trying to keep doing like these big mass posts about, join my team and click this link and whatever. I really only share a link if I'm running an open and free group and I'm going to allow anybody and everybody to join the group. So, and you have to be willing to experiment, and you have to be willing to have some really great posts and some posts that get zero engagement. It will happen. It happens to every top coach. It happens to every coach in between. And not everything that we post, we might think that it's like the most amazing post ever and spend a ton of time on it. But again, if we don't have people who start engaging with it right away, forget about it. It's not going to get pushed out into your news feed. So timing is really critical in that regard too. So keep those, 9-12-9 time frames in mind when you're posting things that, you really feel are going to be value added as well. And engagement, these are some of the things that I have found have been the best ways to build engagement. Getting personal, that's sharing your why, sharing your story, sharing your life, and I know for a lot of us, we run a business page, or we started running a business page because we wanted to kind of keep our life and our fitness stuff separate from each other. But in the end, you're going to be building your network with people who are connecting with you as you. And, I'm a mom and I'm a businesswoman, and those are things that make me me. And so I have to share those on my fitness page as well. In addition to before and after photos that are scary as all hell to share your very first time. I had like sweaty hands and was sick to my stomach the first time I posted before and after photos. But once it's out there, then it's great. As you start making some money in your business and you're paying off debt, you're putting, kids through daycare, whatever it might be that's allowing you to, provide for your family in a way that maybe you weren't before you were coaching. Those are things that you share. I don't think anybody ever wants to have like money type stuff thrown in their face. And so I think you just have to be really mindful of how you share it and how much you appreciate what the business is allowing you to do. And you'll be able to fine tune that. But it's just something to keep in mind, because a lot of people, we're all doing this business to help people, but we're also doing this business to make some money too. And there's nothing wrong with that. You just have to, be humble in how you share. Of course, things that are motivating still do really well. And then things that, I'll be honest with you, some of my best engaging posts are when people can give me fashion advice, because I'm so terribly fashionably challenged that they love being able to tell me if I shouldn't be wearing like leggings or, or thoughts on a top or a date dress, going out on a date with my husband, which dress looks better. And I might have already, picked it, but I'm like, well, it might be really interesting to see what other people say. A quick post, and like the first few times that I did that, I swear I had like 100 comments on my on my photos, and I'm like, oh, I must really be challenged if people feel that compelled to need to tell me how I should be dressing. So, anyways, okay, that was kind of a quick and down and dirty social media training. Questions, things you would like to hit on in a little bit more detail?
I don't think so.
Okay. Hi. Did you want to say hi? Okay, cool. All right, well then we'll wrap up that for social media training, and I'll stop recording.